Wagwan. So let me fix that. Wagwan. What we saying? It's your boy LP, and we're back with another show, Next Generation Baller Show. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All of that good stuff. It's been a big weekend in the Premier League. Yes, it has. Many shock results. Some might say I told you so, but hey, let's get straight into it, man. Yes, boy, I can't believe this one. Chelsea 2-1 to Sunderland. Like, what's going on? Garnacho with the opener. You got the equalizer. And then the boy telling me we're doing at the end with some shocking defending from Chelsea. And I did say this about Chelsea, and I'm going to repeat it and say again that I feel Chelsea, their biggest issue is that they have too many young players. And I don't know when they're going to sink in. And I was just thinking about this just before I went on live. I was like, you know what? These Chelsea, I've been on to Chelsea because I've been telling people that this model is going to get found out. And the biggest worry that these Chelsea fans that they got to think about is that players like Palmer, players like Esteval, are they really going to Enzo, even though I don't really rate him, are they really going to want to be sticking around while they floating with this inconsistent form? Yes, the owners might be happy if they get a little Champions League, play the Club World Cup, comes around every 4 years. Do they really look like they're going to win the title? No, they don't. So how long can they manage to keep these players? I know they're on death contracts, but it can get a bit sticky in a couple years, and obviously still early in the season. There's still a long way to go. So I'm talking end of the season, next season type of stuff. But currently at this moment, and how things are going, I even saw another stat with Enzo after 87 games, I think it is. He got 84 points or something like that, 83, and I feel like Frank Lampard, he had the same amount of games and he got 1 or 2 more points extra. And for me, that's a damning indictment in itself, because Frank Lampard, yes, he had a good little stint at his first start at Chelsea. He got them to a point where he couldn't really get to the point where Chelsea fans want to be. And I feel that that's where Chelsea fans want to be with the money that's spent and where they are as a club. They want to be pushing on. So having this defeat is definitely going to be a big dent in what they're trying to do moving on, because you can see other teams are starting to warm up, move on to Man United and the likes of even Aston Villa, Man City, Arsenal running away with the league right now. But if Chelsea don't buck up their ideas, it could not only be a sticky season, it could be a sticky next couple of years. Signing some of these young players, not looking like they're really going to blossom. Some players looking like they might blossom, but are they really going to want to stay in such an inconsistent team? So wait, for Chelsea, they've got a lot to work on, bruv. This is a big defeat for the club. Newly promoted Sunderland. We know that they've been going well, currently sitting second in the table. But right now, Chelsea need to buck up their ideas, because if they don't, they could be having not only a tough season, they could be having a tough couple years at Stamford Bridge. So Todd Boehly and them man there, they got to buck up their ideas. But boy, let's move on to my boys, because I have to get this one out of the way, because it's been sleeping on my chest. 4-2 Manchester United against Brighton. What a victory. And I did say this was a bigger game than Liverpool, and we've gone out and produced the performance that I expected. 3-0, was running away comfortable with it. Lapse in concentration, conceded a couple goals, but then the boy in Buemo finished and locked off the game. And let me be honest with you, yeah? I said this over and over again, yeah? The boy Bruno Fernandes is the most underrated player, not only in the Premier League, I think in Europe alone, especially in that midfield position. What he does, yes, I know Manchester United haven't been performing the way that we should be and challenging for the honours that we should be as a club. But Bruno Fernandes alone as a player, his influence, his creativity, his goals, his passing, his tenacity, his just all-round brilliance in that midfield is so understated. And for Manchester United, I'm so happy that we never saw them in the summer. Everyone talking about the £100 million bid from Saudi. There's even talk came out this week that he's not going to talk to any clubs till after the World Cup, and people are speculating that that move still might happen. But for me, Bruno Fernandes has to stay. Without a shadow of a doubt. He's one of the first players on the team sheet. He's the captain for a reason. And yes, we got the likes of, like people are saying, with Cunha and Mbeumo able to release that weight off him, because I feel like it was a big problem with Bruno over the last couple of years, that too much responsibility. Maybe he feels doing a bit too much because he knows his quality and not everyone's chipping and doing what they're supposed to do. But the boy Bruno now, he's got Cunha and then Mbeumo there to lighten that load. We can see the best of Bruno. And I think over these next 2 years, we can see a Bruno Fernandes that potentially, I'm not saying could win Ballon d'Or, but definitely could be in that top 10 conversation if Manchester United perform the way they're supposed to perform and compete for them top honours, because Bruno Fernandes is a terrific player. And I've got to give a special shout out to the boy Cunha getting his goal, and that's what he needed, lifting that weight off his shoulders. Cunha continuing, and Mbeumo continuing his goal scorings, getting 2 in that game, and Sesko also getting an assist. And like everyone's saying, right now it looks like Manchester United's got a front 2. Sesko's probably got a bit more to do, but if Sesko can go on and get them goals and carry on doing them assists at what he's been doing, and Man United get that front 3, me again, I'm going to pull it out there right now. There's no reason why we can't be in a title race. There's absolutely no reason why we can't be in a title race. I'm not saying we're going to win it. If we can be in a title race, for me, that's progression for Manchester United, where we are at this current moment. So big win for Man United. Definitely big game against Nottingham Forest next. If you can go out and win that game, Spurs after that, game by game, we'll see where we are in May. Yeah, we'll see where we are at in May. But another shock victory again over the weekend. Aston Villa, they lost midweek against a Danish club in the Europa League. Inconsistencies again, worries. Emery, can he really get over the line? Can he get that consistency in his team? But this weekend he's got the win against Manchester City. Big win. Matty Cash with the winner. And again, Haaland obviously didn't get a goal again today, but his performance in that game, it seemed like Emery managed to lock him down, and that's the big question with Manchester City. Once you lock down Haaland, take him out of the game, can they find other solutions, other problems? It looks like they might have solved that problem. Erling Haaland was actually scoring, but Emery seemed to do a good job, lock him down, and they managed to go and get the victory. Bit of banner in that game, I would say, with the likes of Sancho coming on and coming off. And that's an indictment of him and himself and his performances, that in a game like that, he comes on and then he has to come off, and again, showing his disrespect, not high-fiving the player. Barkley came on as a substitute and ignoring the manager. These are the type of things that I don't like in players. And when it comes to Manchester United, there's people that's talking about, I've been arguing with people about this all the time, and people are talking about, it's the club, we're so rotten. Yes, there's big problems at the club with the owners, Glazers, but now Sir Jim's come in. It's important that you get rid of the likes of Sancho and these type of players, because you can clearly see that there's an issue with that player alone, that when you have him in a certain environment, he can cause big problems for your team. So good win for Aston Villa. Manchester City, some problems there again. Up and down. Some people saying there was going to be a dark horse for the Premier League title. They have to be winning games like this if they want to go and challenge Arsenal, who looks like they're being unbreakable at the moment. So Pep Guardiola got some thinking to do right there. Talking about the boys Arsenal, because which title race is a bit funny. Yeah, we're going to move on to Arsenal winning 1-0 against Crystal Palace, set piece again. And there's a lot of talk now that people are saying that football's gone back to the 80s. Long throws, set pieces. Everyone's tired of passing at the back and everyone's trying to switch it off. And to me, it's quite refreshing. You know, football's it's a bit fun, taking it back to the olden days. And you know what? It's enjoyable. And for me, when it comes to Arsenal, I think maybe this is what's given everyone that hope, because we're in that bit of a transition where we're seeing everyone trying something new this season. I feel like with Arsenal playing the best of best football, rock solid defense, I still feel a lot of clubs still feel that they have the opportunity to go and get good performances. And hey, it's a Premier League. Every game is a tough game. So there's always a chance that Arsenal can go and drop a couple of points. So if you can go and get them decent performances, put that fear into the rest of the league and start and really start balling out, then there's no reason why you can't go push on and win that league. And the pressure's on Arsenal right now. Yeah, good victory. They seem to be managing the pressure, but it's week by week, day by day. It looks like the pressure's getting mounted on Arsenal and Arteta. A lot of talk about their set pieces, them scoring corners. A lot of memes and that going about. That's quite funny, but it's the big question mark right now. The pressure's on Arsenal early. Normally, there's someone right on their heels or in front of them, and they're going back and forth, back and forth. But right now, it looks like Arsenal's got a bit of daylight. It was Liverpool at first. Now it looks like Arsenal are the ones with the points clear, and we're gonna see how they react to that. We're gonna see how they react to that. And for me, that's where the big test is gonna be, because I don't think over this last period where we've seen Arsenal become challengers for the title, that they've really had the pressure on them first over the course of the season. So this is another big question mark for Arteta and Arsenal Football Club. Can they continue? Can they keep pushing on with this pressure that they got? And a lot of people expecting them now to go on and win the title, because the boys, Liverpool, looks like they are struggling. 3-2 defeat to Brentford on the weekend, and Arne Slot doesn't look like he's getting it right over there. I don't know where it is. There's a lot of speculation. We can say a lot of things. For me, I think there's many factors. I think the death of Jota has had an impact on the squad. I feel with Mo Salah not performing his best, reports come out that he's not really dealing with Jota's death as well. I think the introduction of a lot of new players, I think there's quite a lot of egos there right now, and maybe a bit of a challenge for Slot to handle. Salah was on the bench recently, took a lot of stuff off his socials in relation to Liverpool. Isak hasn't hit the ground running. TK did hit the ground running, got taken out to put TK in. Works haven't had a good start. Got 2 assists in the Europa League. Didn't perform it again in the Premier League. Kirk has a lot of question marks. Scored on the weekend. So there's still a lot of questions about Liverpool and Slot and them moving forward. And defensively, again, I think that's the biggest problem for them. Conceding a lot of goals, conceding a lot of chances, and same more question marks that haven't really left the likes of Konate and Van Dijk, because over the years everyone was always doubting them. We've seen them famous memes of Van Dijk saying that they thought I was done and things like that. But hey, is it that time now? Is it that time now with maybe everything that's going on around in the club? A lot of players just winning that last league last season off of the last little sprinkles of what left was Klopp, and maybe now that's fully gone. That big disaster, like I said, with Jota. Maybe that's hit the club hard this season, and it might take a Liverpool season to kind of get that weight off their shoulders, get the players to gel, and it could be difficult. They're going to have a big say. The quality was always there. Liverpool are definitely going to be a match for anyone this season, but do they have that little bit extra to go on and cross the line this season? That might be a bit too much for them this season, but we'll see how the season turns out. Obviously, we're very, very, very early in the season. Game week 9. This is where we'll start to look at the table, understand teams a bit more. But again, purple patches, injuries, suspensions, lots can happen over the course of the next couple of months. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams can continue their form, or will their form decrease. Let us know what you think. How do you think your club's getting on? Do you think your club is where they are at right now? Do you think they need to do better? Do you think that they need to sack their manager? What do you think? The January transfer window is coming up very soon, couple of months. So where do you think that your club needs to improve, and where do you think that they need to strengthen? Okay, we'll go next game. Leeds versus West Ham. West Ham in a tricky position right now. Looks like it's going very, very, very downhill. Speaking to a lot of West Ham fans over the course of the weekend, and the main main thing that they keep telling me is that they wish they never got rid of Moyes. And you know what they say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And he fed them the first trophy in 43 years, hounded them out after a few poor results, wanted more. And I think with Moyes, I think it was just a bit unlucky. Because I think the West Ham fans, I think the angle wasn't more to the owners than to Moyes, but I think because he was an easier target, that they just went for him first. And I think that they maybe should have just put their attentions more on the owners and give David Moyes a bit more slack, because they will be totally regretting what he's doing at Everton. And if he was at West Ham right now, they definitely won't be in the position that they are in right now. And it looks like West Ham are actually in a relegation fight. Losing away to Leeds 2-1 is very, very damning. A team that people was expecting at the start of the season would go down. With the position that West Ham are in now, this is a team that they were definitely expected to go and get 3 points in the position that they are, and overall who they are as a football club and the stats that they are right now compared to Leeds. And obviously every game in the Premier League is a big game. And for West Ham, they've got big questions to answer. Big questions to answer. And it's going to be difficult for them to move on forward with the likes of the owners, the pressures of them selling, getting rid. Are they going to want to invest in January, give a manager what he wants to go on and push on for the rest of the season? So there's big question marks about West Ham and their future as a club in terms of their ownership and their status in the Premier League. Because as it stands right now, West Ham are in a relegation fight. But yeah, not going to stay in there too long tonight because I just started uni. Well, not just started uni. I got my first assignment today. And I'm going to start it, because if I don't start it, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mad one. So last couple ones I'm just going to whip through. And then, yeah, don't forget to lock into the TikTok, break down more videos and the likes of that on my Instagram as well. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest 2-0. The boys Semedo at it again. And it looks like Iriola is working his magic. Bournemouth lost a lot of players in the summer to the likes of PSG, Brentford, and Real Madrid, and it doesn't look like they've struggled. Currently sitting fourth, I believe, in the Premier League. No, I lied, second. So currently sitting second in the Premier League, really doing well. And the manager is definitely going to be a sort-of manager right now. Bournemouth is a funny one, because we would expect a lot of people were doubting them at the start of the season. A lot of people, because of the players that they lost, a lot of people will start doubting the season before. But they managed to kick on, they keep doing what they're doing. And for Bournemouth, it's one of them ones you've got to wait and see. You've got to wait and see. Obviously, a lot could happen, like again with injuries and suspensions. But for now, they're riding high, and they should be enjoying it, because we do know when it comes to the summer, there'll be, even a January transfer window, there's going to be a lot of clubs sniffing around them players, which could turn their heads. And also, I feel like they've got the likes of Semedo, who's going to be playing in the African Cup of Nations. So it's going to have a big effect on them and their team moving forward. Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche, getting back into the Premier League. He did say the players got a lot of work to do, went into training the next day, and he has got a lot of work to do there. I think with the football that he wants to play, like again, when Nunes was there, he had a lot of pace down that wing to play that counter-attacking football. Dyche's kind of the same, but he doesn't have the same type of players. Can he get the results, get a tune out of them players? And again, is the owner going to trust him in a January transfer window to push on and get the players that they need to have a decent one in the league, and also, again, a position in Europe? Burnley versus Wolves versus Burnley, 3-2 to Burnley. See the Wolves manager going absolutely crazy. He's getting sacked by the end of the week. I guarantee you that now. You can't behave like that as a manager. That's absolutely appalling what he's done. He's been having a tough time. I know it's hard out there as a Premier League manager, but you can't go off at the fans like that. It's sour taste in the mouth. The fans are not gonna forget it. And he won't be there for a very much longer there either. But Wolves again having a very difficult time. Same as West Ham, and are currently in a relegation fight now as well. If they don't pick it up, they're definitely looking at Championship football this season. And Everton versus Spurs before we lock it off tonight. 3-0 to Spurs. Very good defenses to play from Spurs. Not really creating a lot of chances or having major dominance in terms of possession in the games, but definitely getting the results. Very solid at the back. Two from Mickey van der Ven. Kudos look like he's getting back to his self again. And Everton disappointing. definitely at home. Would have expected more from themselves. They won't be kicking themselves too much. Striking and scoring goals is a problem. David Moyes did say Beto and Barry do need to step up, as they are the strikers that have the responsibility for scoring for Everton. But yes, that's it, guys. Thank you for locking in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And yeah, we'll be back soon. Boom.